quiet and modest. In a small town where everyone knew each other, there lived a man named Victor. Victor was quiet and modest, so much so that he was rarely noticed. He worked in a library where he could immerse himself in books in peace and quiet. His life seemed simple and ordinary, but behind this mask there was darkness. Memories. Victor was born in this town and spent his entire life here. His parents died in a car accident when he was a child, and he was raised by his grandmother, who instilled in him a love of books. Victor has always been an introvert, preferring the company of books to people. He found solace in reading and often hid behind the pages of novels to escape reality. Library. The library where Victor worked was an old building with high ceilings and creaky wooden floors. The shelves were filled with books, many of them so old that their pages were yellowed and brittle. Victor loved this place, and it became his refuge. He knew every book, every shelf, and every secret of this building. Observer. Despite his reticence, Victor was an excellent observer. He noticed little things that escaped the attention of others. He knew which library visitors preferred which books, who came here to hide from the world, and who were simply looking for solitude. Victor could read people as well as books. Darkness. But behind this mask of peace and quiet there was darkness. Victor was keeping a secret that could have ruined his life and the lives of many others. In his youth, he witnessed a crime that he could not prevent. This terrible moment remained forever in his memory, and since then he lived with guilt and fear. Memories. Victor had nightmares every night. He saw the faces of those he could not save and heard their screams. These memories haunted him, and he could not find peace. He tried to drown out these thoughts by immersing himself in books, but the darkness always found its way back into his mind. Unexpected visit. One day a man came to the library whom Victor did not expect to see. It was a detective investigating an old case involving a crime that Victor had witnessed. The detective began asking questions, and Victor realized that his secret might be revealed. Recognition. Victor resisted for a long time, but in the end he realized that he could no longer live with this burden. He told the detective the whole truth, hoping that this would help find the culprits and bring peace to the souls of those who died. The confession was a relief for Victor, but also the beginning of new challenges. Consequences. After the confession, Victor's life changed. He became the object of attention and discussion in the town, where everyone knew each other. Many condemned him for being silent for so long, but there were also those who understood and supported him. Victor had to learn to live with new realities and look for a path to forgiveness and reconciliation with himself. New beginning. Time passed and the pain from the memories began to subside. Victor found the strength to continue living and working in the library. He realized that books would always be his refuge, but now he also found support in the people who surrounded him. The darkness that had been hidden behind the mask of silence for so long finally began to dissipate, and Victor was able to begin a new chapter of his life. Victor continued to work in the library, helping people find books and solace in reading. He became more open and friendly, and many in the town began to see him not just as a quiet librarian, but as a man with a deep soul and a complex history. His life no longer seemed simple and ordinary, but it became more real. Recovery. Victor began to actively participate in the life of the town. He organized literary evenings where residents could share and discuss their favorite books. These meetings became popular and the library became filled with new voices and stories. Victor found in this the joy and satisfaction that he so lacked. New friends. Among the visitors to literary evenings, Victor met a young woman named Anna. Anna was a primary school teacher and an avid book lover. They quickly found a common language and became close friends. Anna helped Victor see that life can be bright and joyful despite the past shadows. Secret diary. One day, while sorting through old books in the library, Victor came across an old diary. It belonged to his grandmother and contained notes about her life, about how she raised Victor after the death of his parents. In the diary, Victor found words of love and support that helped him understand that he was always loved and protected, even when he felt lonely. Forgiveness. After reading the diary, Victor decided to visit the cemetery where his parents and grandmother were buried. He brought flowers and spent several hours thinking about his life and what he needed to do to finally let go of the past. Victor realized that forgiveness was the key to his release. Return to life. After visiting the cemetery, Victor felt as if a stone had been lifted from his soul. He began to smile and laugh more. His eyes began to glow again. He realized that life goes on, and he has the right to happiness. Victor and Anna began to spend more time together, and their friendship gradually grew into something more. New love. Victor and Anna became a couple, and their relationship brought Victor a lot of joy and warmth. Anna helped him see that he deserves love and happiness, and that the past should not determine his future. They planned the future together, and Victor felt that he had finally found his place in life. Secrets of the library. One day, when Victor and Anna were sorting through the old library archives together, they came across a sealed envelope. Inside, they found an old map of the town with notes on it. These marks pointed to places that seemed to hide some secrets. Victor and Anna decided to explore these places to learn more about the history of their town and the people who lived here. Discoveries. Their research led them to amazing discoveries. They found old underground tunnels under the city that were used during times of war to shelter and transport people and goods. These tunnels were forgotten and abandoned, but now Victor and Anna decided to restore them and turn them into a historical landmark. Unification. The work on restoring the tunnels united the residents of the town. People came to help with the cleanup and restoration, bringing their stories and memories. Victor became a central figure in this project, and his efforts were highly appreciated by everyone. The town came to life, and people began to be proud of their history and their roots. New chapter. Several years passed, and Victor and Anna got married. Their lives were filled with love and happiness, and they continued to work together in the library and on projects that benefited their town. Victor found his place in life and realized that the darkness that once surrounded him was gone forever. Now, when he looked at his town, he saw not only old houses and streets, but also people who had become his family. Victor realized that life can be difficult and full of challenges, but it can also be bright and joyful if you have people who support and love you. Festival of Light. The town decided to organize an annual festival dedicated to the history and culture of their small corner of the world. Victor and Anna found themselves at the center of preparations for this event. They recruited many volunteers and everyone contributed. The streets were decorated with garlands, and a stage was installed in the square for performances by local artists. Meeting with the past. During the festival, Victor met an old childhood friend whom he had not seen for many years. This friend, Alex, left the town shortly after the tragedy that changed Victor's life. The meeting was unexpected and emotional. Alex said that he always remembered Victor and followed his life from a distance. Memories and reconciliation. The conversation with Alex helped Victor finally come to terms with the past. They remembered their childhood, their common joys and sorrows. Alex shared his experiences and how he also felt guilty for not being able to help Victor in difficult times. They both realized that time heals wounds, and that forgiveness is the key to healing. Plans for the future. Victor and Anna decided that the library should become the center of the cultural life of the town. They began planning to expand the library to include a museum dedicated to the history of the town and its people. Victor also proposed creating a literary club for young people to instill in them a love of reading and knowledge. New projects. The project to create a museum and literary club received support from local authorities and residents. Victor and Anna began collecting materials for the museum, including old photographs, documents, and artifacts. They also began holding workshops and lectures to attract young people to participate in the cultural life of the town. The power of community. Work on new projects has united the residents of the town. People began to share their stories and memories, and this helped create a sense of community and unity. Victor realized that his efforts were not in vain, and that he had truly done something significant for his town. Gratitude. At the opening of the museum and literary club, Victor and Anna received many thanks and recognition. People saw them not only as the initiators of the project, but also as symbols of revival and hope. Victor felt deep satisfaction and joy that he was able to contribute to the life of his town. Life goes on. Several years passed, and life in the town continued to go on as usual. Victor and Anna became parents, and their children grew up surrounded by books and history. The library and museum became real centers of cultural life, and many came from other cities to see this unique place. Letter from the past. One day Victor received a letter. It was written a long time ago, but only now did it reach him. The letter was from his grandmother, and in it she wrote about her love and hopes for Victor's future. These words were another reminder to him that he was always loved and supported. Legacy. Victor realized that his life is not only his own story, but also part of a larger legacy that he leaves to his children and future generations. He decided to write a book about his life, about the difficulties and joys, about the people who surrounded him, and how he found his way to the light. Conclusion. Life in the small town continued. Victor and Anna became real pillars of their community. Their children grew up absorbing a love of books and history. The library and museum continued to develop, attracting more and more people,